I'm in my winter greenhouse here, and I've got 6 Oasis cubes filled with lettuce. 3 are butter crunch and 3 are red oak leaf. And we're going to do another easy Kratky, and I'll show you how I got it set up this time. And this is what I'm growing it in. You've seen these before. I had them covered with landscape fabric before and kind of taped, something like that, and decided to paint them. I did that a while back, actually, painted these. I painted 5 of them. And yeah, I think this is going to work better. It looks better. You can see it's a Kramer container. And of course the lids and everything else are the same. If you've seen one of my latest greenhouse updates, I'm growing using pool noodles cut, and I'm surrounding the Oasis cube in it like that, and I'm sticking it in, and that worked really well for me last time. Also here I've got a little different kind of net cup. These are the ones I've always used, and they're a really Jim Dandy net cup, and I'll show you this here. And that's the way it fit, and it fit nice. But I was contacted by a guy, I'll put it up on the screen, I can't remember his name, but it's from CZ Company, and he said, hey man, I've got some really heavy duty, at least twice as heavy duty net cups that I'd like to try out, if you don't mind, for you to try out and show it to your viewers, your subscribers. And I was like, I don't do that kind of thing. I don't want my channel to become that sort of channel, you know, where I do reviews and I take gifts and stuff all the time from people, and I get a lot of offers. So I told him that, and he replied back, he understood and all that. He said, but let me send you some anyway, and you can do with them whatever you want. And he did. He sent them to me, and these are in fact really heavy duty. So I'm not going to spend the whole video here plugging it, but they're really heavy duty compared to the ones I had before, and those were the best ones I ever had up to this point. And so I'd used the company before. I'd bought some drippers from them online, CZ, from Amazon a couple 3 years ago, so I knew that the quality and what they put out was going to be pretty good probably. Anyway, I'm not advocating for CZ. If you want to use them, go ahead. I'll put the Amazon link in the description. But one of the things I do like about it, besides being really heavy duty, I think these guys even went overboard, but anyway, is the fact that it's tapered more than the other one. And this will allow me to shove this down tight and get a good seal around the Oasis cube and the lettuce or whatever I'm going to grow. Anyway, enough on CZ. There you go, man. I know you're watching the YouTube channel. I'm not really one to do this sort of thing, but these are actually really good, and so what the heck. So I've got several gallons of nutrient that I'm going to use for this grow, and I'm probably going to top it up. And I've filled it to the bottom circle here, and that's all I need for the Oasis cube to do is make contact with this, probably about 1/3 of the Oasis cube in height, and that should be more than enough to reach down as the roots grow. And once the roots grow, of course, the liquid's going to disappear and all that. But anyway, it's how Kratky works. You know all that already. This is just another grow, doing some butter crunch and some red oak leaf, and I'll bring you back as they grow. Those CZ net cups also allow you to put it in a mason jar and put the lid cap back on. Kind of neat if you want to try growing like in a mason jar, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a shot, see what happens. Alright, let's take a look at our water culture lettuce. Let's see what it looks like now. And the tubes running to those are little air tubes that run off of this pump right here. And I've got one that is straight Kratky, and I put it in a mason jar, like that. And the reason why I put it inside, obviously inside this, was to block off extra light and keep it from turning green. But inside each one of these is a little air bubbler that's really just an emitter that I had, and that's providing some aeration there. So that's what they look like now. I'll bring you back as they grow. Here's the lettuce today. See, the roots are starting to come in. Mason jar. And one here, a little stunted for some reason. One of the ends a little stunted for some reason, but they're still alive. Alright, here's what the lettuce looks like today. This one has used up the majority of its nutrients, and I'm going to show you how to take care of that. Here is 2 Butter Crunch Butterhead and 1 red, I don't know if that's oak leaf or what it is, but it's a red leaf type lettuce as well. And I had 2 that were also like this one. I had one here that I took out because the roots weren't going down, and I don't know what I did wrong with that, but it looks like it's pretty much toast. And I got a second one over here. You can see there, it looks like it may be trying to come back. Let's see if there's any roots on there. I don't see any roots on there, but I just set it in there so that it would make contact with the nutrient and start the root growth down. And it didn't look like that 2 of the, I mean, I do 5 here, were the greatest. But I do have perfect growth on this one here. Beautiful lettuce. I'll show you what it looks like at the top at this point. And 2 more here. And you can tell they're growing great if they don't have any brown edges here, grown hydroponically, and that's tip burn. And if they're not lanky, if they're spreading out and they're pretty compact like this and they're growing that way, that's when you know you're doing a good job with them. So it looks like the aerated version looks a little better than the straight up Kratky. I also put a spinach in one of them. So yeah, we're going to give it a go, and now I'm going to top up the nutrients. Let me see, I'll just show you what the roots look like on this one. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see. And they're reaching down. I'll bring you into the container so you can see where the level is. And I'm also going to top it up. Now when I top it up, I'm not going to go below the bottom of the net cup here, and that's so some of these finer haired roots here, well, those are called air roots, or at least what I call them, and the stringier ones below are nutrient roots or water roots. So as long as you don't cover up about a couple inches, 1 to 2 inch worth of the air roots, the plant will survive just great, and you can keep topping it up in a smaller container instead of having to go to a bigger container. Alright, you can see the level I filled it to, and that should be good for a good bit of growing again until it gets down lower again like you saw before. You see behind the air hose there, that little bit of a bump that's in the creamer, that's what I fill it up to when I top it off. So as you can see, I've added it, and I'm going to stick the plant back in there and do it to the rest of the plants. I think the last time that I did Kratky lettuce, this isn't Kratky, this is Aerated Water Culture. Kratky is a form of water culture that's not aerated, but yeah, I think the last time I did this, I took the outer leaves in the Kratky without air, and yeah, I just took the outer leaves as they grew, and then it'll continue to get bigger from the center. Yeah, just continue to put out more leaves. So you can do that for a while. If it's aerated like this, I believe there won't be any issue with that. So yeah, what you do is you just reach in and you grab some of the inner leaves and take and go eat those, especially if you have more than just 3 or 4. You can, you know, have 10 of these and then just make up a salad every 2 or 3 days from those same 10 for a while. Don't know how long that would last, maybe a month or so. So it'd probably be a good idea to start new ones once they get to this stage, or maybe even a little smaller than this. Alright, we're going to call it quits on this grow for the purposes of the video. I will let this smaller one here that's beginning to grow nice and aggressively now continue. But we're going to pull this one. I'll let the spinach continue. And I'm going to pull these two and the Kratky spinach as well, because it's beginning to seed. So let's do that. Let's line them up and I'll show you what they look like close up. And this is what they look like in presentation mode. These are the 3 best heads, and I've got a couple more I'm going to show you. We're going to bring them inside too and open them up and let you see how much each head produced. I want to show you what the roots look like. You can see there's not a whole lot to them really, and yep, all 3 of them, the neck cups, little pull noodle that I use, all that on the bottoms. So these are the 2 Kratky Grows and what they look like, and they're significantly smaller. Well, this one's significantly smaller than the ones with air, but you know, maybe it's not quite a fair comparison because I wasn't able, that one creamer container wasn't able to keep the light out, and that's the problem with using anything that's clear or, you know, translucent, some, you know, like a white plastic or something, as that sun can come in, and then when that happens you get algae. And I don't know if if algae prohibits growth or not, but regardless, this grow didn't do as well. Now the spinach was put in later, and you can see it's doing the same thing. It's even going to seed here. These are the roots outside, and you can see that they're kind of slimy and extremely short. So this plant was having difficulty. That one over there looks like the roots got in further, but it's also slime filled. With the 2 Butter Crunch, there was a little bit of tip burn here, and that's because I put a higher strength nutrient solution, and the higher nitrogen levels creates tip burns on some varieties of lettuce. Some are less prone to have tip burn than others. The red oak leaf didn't have any tip burn that I've noticed anyway. So let's take a measurement, just to kind of get an idea of the size of these. This one is about 9 inches wide. It's hard to see in the camera. Looks like about 9 inches. The second one is about 10 inches, and then the oak leaf is about, looks like 11 to 11 and a half. Here's the Butter Crunch, and this is what it looks like for size. That's a big bowl, and it's a good bit of salad. So yeah, and I tasted it, and it is nice and sweet. I can't believe it's actually sweet. Oh, that's so good. This is the red oak leaf, and you can kind of see what the leaves look like, which is why it's called the red oak leaf, or the oak leaf type. And I did taste this, and this is nowhere near as good as Butter Crunch to me. The wife felt the same way. Now, it's not bitter at all, and that's not what I mean by that. It just doesn't taste as good. But there you go, that's the red oak leaf. One last thing, these are the 3 containers post grow, and totally, completely good to go again. This is Brent. We'll see you later.